What's up, traders? Hope you're all doing good. Today, I'm going to do a backtesting session on the new MTJ software. So this is for journaling your trades and tracking your stats, but it also has an amazing backtesting feature, which we'll be testing out today. So let's jump right into it. We're going to select a new session. We're going to give ourselves an account balance of 100,000. We're going to trade pound dollar. Let's do the start date from last year somewhere. Let's do the month of June, but we have to select the day before. Otherwise, if you select the first, then the first date will already be shown. So we select the 31st of June, and it will end. I'm not sure how many trades we'll do or check the time, but let's just say for the month of June, so the 30th of June. Strategy name, let's call it structure trading. So we're primarily going to focus on trading 15-minute structure with a 4-hour drawn liquidity. So we're going to be looking for price action patterns and so on. So let's jump right into it. As we go through it, you will pick up on the strategy and how it works. So I'm not going to give too much explanation on it. So we just double click and let's start. Okay, so I already changed my colors from a previous session to look the way it does right now. So once we open, it might be black. You can just right click, go to settings and change it the way you want to change it. So I have my colors selected there. If you want this exact color, you can have the code right there. And if you want this exact color, there is the code for it as well. Borders like a grayish, Wix black, and canvas just a solid white background. Grid lines is set to 0. So that's basically just what I've done on here. So it's very, very nifty. So how we're going to start doing this, we're just going to first of all check potentially the daily drawn liquidity. And I'm only going to do it for the first day because as you continue, like with most software or with TradingView backtesting, that once you go on a daily again, maybe at the wrong time, then it shows you what the daily already done. So we don't want that. So okay, we're going to start off. We see there is a previous high and there's another swing high to the left. So that is our draw on liquidity, I believe. There's nothing towards the downside, potentially towards the upside, draw on liquidity. So I'm just going to jump then to the 15-minute. And this is then only other thing that I have on as well is my new day breaks. Settings, session breaks. Just on under canvas, session breaks, have that turned on, and then you'll see a new day. Because that's important because I'm trading London session and I want to see what's happening in London session. And then also just take note, they don't have it yet, but coming soon is like a proper session indicators so that you can see your sessions, Asia, London, and New York. Because currently we just have to like play it by ear, see what happens. So just waiting for the new day to happen. And okay, there we have a new day. So we know we just change our time to New York time, and we know that London session is then 2 a.m. in the morning. And then I'm just adding a vertical line there. Just quickly, okay, so then I'm going to just be getting to that area. So I want to be looking for a trade around the open of London. So Frankfurt open, Asia was consolidated. So we already can potentially see that we'll get a accumulation manipulation, most probably because our drawn liquidity is towards the upside. Okay, so potentially we have then a drawn liquidity towards the upside. We know London open. So what we'll do next is just draw out some liquidity. So we have here a fair value gap, which I'll just refine to the breaker as well. So we have that area as a potential place where price can drop into. So if price drops down into this area, I'd be keen on looking for longs back towards the upside. Okay, so London opens, and okay, so I'm only looking for longs because we believe the drawn liquidity is towards the upside. Asia high, this also becomes a drawn liquidity for us. Okay, so let's see, nothing yet. Okay, now we're in this area. Let's see how the reaction, nothing yet. Okay, there is a reaction for us. So part of the strategy is we can just quickly note that as well. Entry signal. One of them, it's not all of them, but is a engulfment. Okay, so there we have an engulfment. So because I don't want to go to lower time frames and look for lower time frame entries, I'm going to stay on the 50-minute just to make it easier. Okay, so we then select a long position from there, ideally at the open of the new 15-minute candle. So stop loss below. First take profit would be this area, but we're just going to aim for that high, which gives us our 2.7 risk to reward. Now, this is how it works. We go to placed order. We select our risk. We're going to do 1% risk. It already has your entry, take profit, stop loss based on what your tool says. We just place order. And then these lines pop up. Okay, so then we just see what happens. Just note that we could get a reaction off of this area. So we're just mindful of that. Okay, we break through it, so that's already a good sign. Retest it, and then potentially continue higher. There we have it. This drawn liquidity traded towards. Okay. Now here we can see realized P&L 2.7. Of course, we raised 1% and the trade risk reward was 2.7. Okay, great. So that is then it for this day. So then we can go back to the 1 hour and basically just play it forward to the next day. Let's see if it reached that drawn liquidity. Yes, it did. Okay, so now what do we see now? Okay, so we still have that high as a drawn liquidity, but we also now have yesterday's high over there. Let's change that line, color a bit. So we have previous day high as well. We might see price sweep previous day high and then give reaction going lower. So I'm just keeping that in mind as well. There is our, let's change this color a little bit, our London session, start of London session. So we can just play it along a little bit on the 1 hour, see what happens. Okay, so let's go on the 50-minute now and see if we get any entry confirmations, entry patterns. Wait for London to open. Okay, so we have London session opening. We have this fair value gap, which I really like, and we pumped into it at the open. So this could be a short from this area, but it's just the open. So I would rather first see a reaction from it and then decide what to do. Okay, so there we have a nice reaction, goes up. So it can be a little bit fickle and a little bit confusing as at the open. So currently nothing really. Here we now have something more interesting. A nice break of structure right over there. Potentially a pullback into this area and then a continuation lower. So remember, we've traded above the previous daily high. Structure is beginning to shift towards the downside. We also potentially have some divergence, SMT divergence up there. Maybe EU, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to be able to jump and look now. Let's see if it trades a bit higher. Okay, comes into that area, traded into that area again. Now, if I see an engulfment, something like this, I'm interested in getting into the trade there. Okay, so I like this rejection candle. One inside bar, this engulfment, so I'm going to get involved right now. So as I said, this is a strategy that I've been building and working on past couple of months. So it might not make sense to you, all the bits and details, but that's okay. We're backtesting. Okay, so I'm going to keep my stop loss above that high, and I'm going to just do a 2 risk to reward. just like that. So there's our potential trade. So London, first hour is over. We're in the second hour, third hour of close to the end of London session. Let's see if we get that last push in the gap time for this trade to play out. Okay, so let's say place order. It's a sell, again, risking 1% risk amount. And it's set on initial balance, so we'll always be risking 1,000. Okay, and we say place order. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Okay, comes up a bit. So glad we had our stop loss above the high, which is good. Okay, so price traded nicely, tagged us out. This went for 3R, but there's a reason I like 2R. Okay, so really well played, and price continues going lower. Okay, so now we can see our realized P&L is already 4.7, so 4.7%. We took 2 trades, and it's now only the second. I think it's Friday now. So we go to the 1 hour, and then we could potentially just delete all of that. We can delete that as well. Okay, so now I'm just waiting for the next day again. Okay, new day. Let's quickly look at the 4 hour. What's our drawn liquidity? So we have a order block right there. Oh, sorry, not an order block, a fair value gap towards the upside. We have this order block down here, this area. And then we have sell side liquidity resting below that low. So we have this big push down, fair value gap up, fair value gap down, indication of a reversal. So I'm more inclined to carry on the shorts going lower. So we have to see now if we get a potential trade entry. We're just going to mark up our London open, which is right over there. Okay, so let's see if we get anything. That is London open, I think. Yes. Okay, let's go on the 50-minute and see the situation. So relative equal highs, first thing bumping up, potentially sweep the structure and then go lower. But we also have this fair value gap right there, so just keeping that in mind. Okay, we pump up, we sweep the fair value gap. This is great. This is a great fair value gap to trade off of. And we trade up into it and we immediately rejected it going lower. So I am going to take a trade from this area. And we also, this move up has been engulfed by these 2 candles. So it's a 30-minute engulfment as well. So I'm going to take a short on this trade. I'm going to put my stop. We could put it above the highs. We'll see now the risk to reward 2R. We have the sell side liquidity below that low. So we have 2R can work getting us there. Okay. So more of the story is just following the order flow. We reacting off of this fair value gap, traded lower, beautifully traded into it, come down lower, broke structure, pulled back into it at the open, bearish reaction off of it. So I'm in the engulfment, so I'm looking for short. So place order, sell, 1% risk. It should give, for some reason it's not giving the take profit. 24260. Oh, it is sell. Just want to make sure. Let's just take that off again. Let's look short position. Right there. Stop above the high. Take profit right there. Place order. Okay, there is 1% sell. Place order. Okay, there is our sell order. Potentially on the lower time frames, we've got an earlier entry, but the system is a little bit different. Okay, nicely moved down, just following the momentum towards that sell side objective. Okay, so our second day is done. So third day is done. Liquidity objectives has been reached. So now we can just carry on and wait. So that was Monday. There we now have our new day. So Monday, let's just mark out Monday's low and high. So we have Monday's low right over there and Monday's high right over there. So we're in Tuesday now. We can see with this double break indicating that was Sunday, Monday, now we're on Tuesday. We're consolidating below previous day high. So that's usually a sign that we're going to move up higher. If we just look at the 4-hour, we have a fair value gap here, so we might just sweep that low and then continue up higher. Because remember, we still have unfinished business and this 4-hour fair value gap. So just keeping that in mind. Okay, so let's go to the 50-minute. So we know that we could potentially sweep these lows, continue up towards the upside. We just need to mark out again London Open. So the shortcut for Mac is Option V. I think it's Control V on PC. Okay, so it's already traded up towards that fair value gap. Let's see, maybe we trade into it. Okay, so it reached for our fair value gap without us even getting an opportunity to trade. So let's see if we now get a rejection from it. There we have it. Okay, so we have a bearish engulfment at the London Open. So this is potentially an area where I would then like to get involved with a short stop loss above the high, and I'm targeting these lows. So just getting my 2R in there. So reasons being, the only okay, it's not too bad because we did close below that fair value gap. So that gives me a little bit of ease, because usually I don't like engulfments into fair value gaps, but it's from a 4-hour fair value gap. So PD array above price, looking then for a discounted PD array. Ideally, and there's a fair value gap potentially forming as well. Okay, so let's take this short. Sell 1%. I'm not sure why. Let's just reset the chart view again. Just take this away. For some reason, it's not giving us that values. Let's just put this up again and looking for 2R. Let's say place order, sell 1%, place order. Okay, let's see what happens. I hope there's not two sells now. Let's remove the one. So maybe it did open another position. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Great stuff. Okay, that was a clean move towards the downside. From the fair value gap, 50-minute engulfment, pull back, a little bit of drawdown, but it reached for the 4-hour fair value gap below price action. So very clean move. That was not rehearsed, guys. This is a pure backtesting session. So let's quickly play price forward again. Move nicely. Nice. Okay, I might have skipped too early. I hope not. Okay, there we have our new day. So what do we do now? Monday and Tuesday's high and low, we just mark those. So we can take that away. That's not important. That's not important. So Monday and Tuesday's high combined, we have the high and the low. That is the range that we're trading within. Currently, what do we see? We traded above that high. It looks like we're breaking down. I'm not 100% sure. New day Asia session was trending towards the downside. Let's see if we get a pullback. We potentially have an order block zone right over here. So I move that. Potentially a zone right up over there, but I first want to see a reaction. Let's see what happens. Okay. It just moves down, moving down lower. First hour. Okay. Maybe they were short, but nothing really that I wanted to trade. I think we're going to go up to that high now. Tuesday's high. See. Maybe we get a New York trade. So I think this looks like an engulfment. I want to see one more candle. No, not an engulfment. Okay, this looks better. We get a potential fair value gap over here. So we have fair value gaps going up and down. So I'm going to potentially then take a short from this area. I'm going to keep my stop above that high. I'm only going to do 2R again. So thesis, this is around just start of New York session. We traded above Tuesday's high. We traded towards the upside, towards the downside, leaving fair value gaps towards the upside and the downside. So I'm potentially looking for a short down into the range created in London session. Place 1%, sell, place order. And we can see the order has been placed. Let's see if this is a win or lose. A very quick loss, which is fine. And it just continues up higher. Okay, so I'm not going to sweat it. It happens. It was bound to happen. Let's look forward for the new day to start. And we just move this up to the next session. So now, take this away. We now have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday creates the midpoint of the week. High and low, that's now our most important levels. This area traded up into this fair value gap right over there. Just move it up like that and rejected off of it, traded lower, traded into this fair value gap as well. So we're a little bit of a stalemate, stuck between two fair value gaps. I'm guessing maybe price will continue up higher because this was a break towards the upside. I don't want to go to the daily because I know it's going to show more of price action, which I don't want to necessarily see. Let's go on a 15-minute and see what is the situation. Asia moving nicely consolidated. There's the opening gap. We respected it. Well, there's the gap, not the opening gap. Respected it. Coming back up. Yeah, let's see. Okay, push down. Nice fair value gap going lower. Trade it up into this order block. Let's see if this candle rejects. It goes, okay. I do think London opened. We did not yet trade into that fair value gap. I want to see a new 15-minute fair value gap. Okay, it traded now into this fair value gap, which is good. I would just want to see a rejection candle like that. Okay, so now I think I'm going to get involved. I'm going to take a short. I'm going to place my stop above this high because price, if we respect this fair value gap, it doesn't have any reason to go higher. And if price is going to order flow towards the downside, it should respect this. So that would invalidate the trade if it goes above it. So I'm going to take this short, sell 1%, place order. Okay, let's see. Not a good start. Not a good start at all. So it's going to probably go higher. Or not. Oh, yes. Okay, let's see what happens. Continues going higher. So London start, first hour, 3, 4, 5. So the London ends, or the first 3 hours ends right here. So there, potentially maybe a short opportunity, but it's towards the close. So not the close, the end of the session. So no. And it just continues up higher, higher, higher. Big day higher. Look at this. So often when we get a peak formation high and a peak formation low, that's what you get. So we had this high, this low, and this peak formation consolidate in between, and then parabolic move higher towards those highs. Okay, but let's do one more trade. We're up 6%. Not bad. We've been trading, not sure how many days it's now, the 8th 1 week of trading. 6%. We'll look at the stats afterwards, but I think we could call it, well, let's do one more trade. Okay, let's do one more trade. So let's just wait for one new day. Okay, let's just quickly clear the table. Look at what Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we had a breakout of Wednesday's high and low going towards the upside. Previous day high sitting right there. So that's a little bit tricky. I must be honest, that's a little bit tricky. Let's just check where's London open. There's our London open. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's go down to 15 minutes. Okay, previous day high, didn't do much with it. Asia was trending towards the downside. Maybe we get a pullback and a continuation going lower. I like this. I like this trade in there. I like that. Let's see. Okay. Not respecting it. Not respecting it. So now we're sweeping these highs. Let's see if we get an engulfment going lower. Okay, now we're above previous daily high. Yes. There we potentially have an inside bar and an engulfment. I'm going to take my short here. We have an inside bar as well as an engulfment. Stops above that high. I'm going to take a take profit 2R. Like that again. Okay, let's see. 1% risk, sell, place order. Okay, it has marked up. Okay, let's hope we go out of a great trade. Hallelujah. So far, it could still reverse. Let's quickly run through the data and see. Let's quickly go back and let's see what happened with this session. Let's look at our stats. So a total of 8 trades, 4 wins, 1 break even, which I don't know what was the break even, and 3 losses. Okay. And let's see, what can we see over here? So here we have the months. Monday we made 2%. Tuesday we made 2%, then a loss, and then we made 2.7%, a loss, and a win on a Friday. So all in all, great best win, 2.7 average win, average duration, win streak, 1.75, max win streak, 3 days, 3 runs in a row. Worst loss, average loss. So it's a very small sample size, but you kind of get the gist on what we're able to see here. So it's very great, relatively informative. So yeah, guys, that's it from me today, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Have a great weekend, and I'll check you in the next one. Cheers.